Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the TachEon Warp demonstration. Pre-Thanksgiving, mix it up this time of year. We know everyone's got plans for tomorrow, so we just want to give everyone an opportunity to get started. And I want to thank you here today. My name is Michael. About 15 years ago, we decided that we were tired of garbage indicators and stupid gurus and junk that didn't work, and really dug down as engineers to try to understand how the machinery of this market really works. And for us, the end result came down to time. And as such, we're one of the only predictive timing companies for retail traders in the world. And in a moment, I'm going to show you here some things that I think are fairly remarkable. And we're going to get to that here in 1 second. We are probably one of the only companies that will put our money where our mouth is, and that we've given people the times that the market is likely to go up or down in the future. So many of you, how many of you have been taking that trial and following along with the times that we gave you in advance? You, okay, another person. Yeah, that's fantastic. It's weird, right? It's kind of weird knowing when a move is likely to come in the future. And so we give those times out in advance before the webinar so that you have an opportunity to sort of see for yourself what we're expecting to have happen. And if you've been following along, this is sort of that web page that's telling us what to look for at certain times coming up in the future. Hey, James, pleasure to have you on board. Thank you for coming here today. So we have this page that people are following, and you'll see that we had the forecasted times for Tuesday and Wednesday published on Monday before either of those markets were open, and we're going to take a look at those results here in a second. Let me walk you through the big picture stuff first. This is our TachEon Warp software. All of the signals that you see here fall into one of two categories. The signals to the left of the current price bar are the predictions that the program had made for us based on historically recurring behavior patterns in that market. So when you see the white and blue dots and the blue and white lines to the left of the current crosshair on my screen, those were the times that the software, and consequently us in these webinars, have been warning you about potential moves. And you can see here the forecast for Tuesday yesterday was sort of a maximum point in the software for Apple. And so we had warned everybody about this push up once we broke through this high in Apple, continuing until the 21st. And now we're just sort of looking to see if we're going to get another push down in Apple like we did October 6th and July 26th and September 5th. The blue signal on October 27th was a pattern 4. That low was never punctured, and so we were expecting it to go up there the same way it did. So Apple, longer term, pattern 2, we're looking for sell-offs now into December 12th. Looking at Tesla, we've been following that market along pretty closely here today. The last two signals that we've been mentioning in the webinar were the ones on November 9th, as well as the one on November 15th. We used an advanced method here that allows us to split any two time cycles into thirds, a 33.33% split and a 66.66% split, a Fibonacci extension retracement between these two times. And so as we come into Thanksgiving, we've kind of had a down day here today, but the overall progression until the 1st of December seems to be an upward movement now. And so Tesla is expected to continue to move upwards. And if we just take a moment here, we can see that it's starting to follow its own channel now, sort of back up in that direction. So we'll see if it maintains that channel and continues to climb down, maybe dropping as low as 228 before coming back up into the 260s before we hit December 1st. So again, completely predictive. We can see the times in the future that we're expecting moves to occur. This is a fun one because people have been following what I say for some reason on the social media posts. NVIDIA, the meme stock of the day, we warned all of you that the prices were going to rise from November 6th until November 20th. And you can see that one, if you had options in here, puts, you have fallen straight down from 505 to a low of 476. So we're expecting that to continue now. Next move in NVIDIA is going to be around December 11th if the software continues to hold accurately. Also with SPY, we warned everybody that prices were going to rise until November 21st using the same method. We did have a liquidity stop run here, almost hit the stops from the October 23rd signal, but instead turned around and rose a total of $34.75 from the close of that signal. Now on the November 21st signal, we see that selling pressure is expected until December 6th. Gold has been fun. These signals in gold are based on the phases of the moon from our alpha package. This is the TachEon Orion indicator. And you can see here that we've been tracking the Orion signals based on lunar positions. And so gold being in the news of late as the world calamities surround us seemingly everywhere. I've been using a very simple system where after the lunar signal, we look for the bar closing in the direction of that signal as a potential entry. So for example, on September 28th with the Perigee, we had a selling day, a selling signal. We could enter on the close of that candle and go short. On the 10th of October, we had a buying day. You can see here, it's a higher close doji. We could have entered on the close of that signal with a stop below here and been long in that market until the next signal. There were two signals up here of interest. Number one, the signal that came in on the 26th of October didn't have a sell day until the 30th, which let us hold that short until the 6th. The next buying signal came in on the 9th of November. And if you'd bought there, you were stopped out. But then the next opportunity to buy was right here, which turned out to be the swing pivot low. And we rose a total of, from here to here, $53. So if we had bought gold here, we would have been stopped out for minus 22. And then you would have doubled that on the reversal. And now from the close of this candle, we're looking for shorts until December 1st in gold. So gold using lunar signals, wacky and weird, but working nonetheless. On the NASDAQ daily chart here, before you even ask me, the settings for this are default values, 714 with a swing strength of 8. I've activated the open price lines on here, which are simply the closing prices of all the buying and selling pressure signals. And you'll see now that the market, when we arrived at that signal on Monday, has gone into a consolidation phase. When we're selling into a strong uptrend, we get what's known as a reaccumulation phase. People are selling at the high and then they're trying to get in at the low, re-entering like a bus stop. People leaving and going to their houses, new bus riders getting on and going to the next stop. So following along with NASDAQ, we can see the next signal is December 13th. And if we want to use that advanced technique, we can see there's an intermediate move coming on November 27th. So continue to expect consolidation and selling as we get closer to the 27th of November. Oil's got a weird signal set up here. This is using the full phases of the moon, both full moon and new moon. And we've been predicting a sell-off in oil since the pattern 5 appeared on September 28th. The most recent signal was a new moon, which occurred on November 13th. We're expecting prices to continue to drop for 5 more days until November 27th, when the next full moon arrives. Looking at oil on a 60-minute chart, this is another variant of the TachEon Warp software. Again, before you ask, I'm using default value 714.8 on the 60-minute oil chart. And you'll see that banks are basically following a prescribed plan for the most part for almost all of these signals. So if we just take a quick look and kind of gauge what percentage of the signals actually appeared near a high and low, where we get these pushes up, out, and then these pushes down and away, you can see that about half the time or more, these signals are locating near the actual arrival times of the buyers and the sellers. Again, if we use the advanced technique, which I'm hoping many of you will learn to use at one point, we can find the intermediate reversals in between the larger moves and see, even when we use that technique here, Dorian, you could have caught that move up and this move down. The next move seems to be up at 7 o'clock tonight, about 2.5 hours from now, and then more selling pressure at 9 a.m. So we can see the signals coming up for the rest of the week here into next week on a 60-minute chart. Using very small stops, a lot of these moves have profound effects now, with that one move in CL worth close to $4,000 per contract. NASDAQ on a regular daily chart, just looking at the trend without open price lines. Again, we're referencing default values of the software. We'll see that this is a pretty clear, cut and dry plan for the banks. They're following a plan of exactly when to get in and get out and in what direction. So as we just kind of review here where the signals were and what happened after them, you'll notice that when we were waiting for something to occur, it moves in that direction most of the time. Now, if you've been coming to the webinar for a while, and I've got recordings of every one of them for the last year, you'll know that I've given you each of these dates and directions since early in the summer. Back in June, we've been using this workspace. So we knew the move was coming on November 6th. We knew this signal was coming on November 20th, months ago. In the same way, Paul that we know, James that we know, all of these signals through February are sitting here waiting, meaning there's a better than average chance, in my opinion, that we'll see up moves at these points in the future. And there's a better than average chance that we'll see down moves at these points in the future. It's not choppy. The signals are as close together, Fabio, as they were over here. This is not a choppy market. These are very large moves. In some cases, if you were buying with trend, that move went up $904. This move came down a total of $1,000. The program will put all of the signals equidistant from each other. They're not predicting price location, Fabio, they're just predicting time. The spacing is what's important. So the program will note where the current price is and separate these dots equidistant. Yeah, there are some ways to predict how far price will move though. I can show you that technique if you want. What I do is I assume everything from a particular worldview. So my worldview, let me put my glasses on so I don't look hideous here for the camera. My worldview, after having watched markets move for as many years as I have, is that banks are basically rigging the game. And there's nothing really random. When good news comes out, the market drops. When bad news comes out, the market goes up. These guys just basically they run the tables and take as many retail trader dollars off the board as they can. So if I know when they're going to move, then it's a question of how far are they likely to move. So Fabio, let me show you this technique that I developed here that might be useful. If I look at each one of the selling pressure signals, check this out, guys. I can measure from the high of the sell signal to how low it went by the next buy dot. Does that make sense? I can measure from the high to as low as it went by the next predicted behavior pattern. And in some instances, there are smaller moves than others. And so, Fabio, I have a sense here, though, of how long the move lasted. And we'll kind of come back here and do the same thing, right? Now watch, I can harvest these signals. Let's knock that over right there. Like blueberries from a bush. And Earl, I can move these over like so. And now, Fabio, I can get a really good idea of how far that move is likely to go before the next signal. So, for example, would you guys agree that most of the triangles are somewhere between here and here? And that the next one is sort of in the middle there, and then there's two more over here. So we have a minimum, a median, and a maximum, or what I call an outlier. And these are actually, there's two of those moves down here that low. So Fabio, look at what we're doing here. We're not using any price action at all, but we're measuring when banks do what they do. We're measuring how far they go when they do it. And we have a window of opportunity. So we kind of know at a bare minimum that this thing is likely to go down another $393 before December 13th. Now, who trades like this? Banks do. Banks do. In fact, one of the things that we try to really drill home is this idea of sifting through information. So this is a QR code, but if I show this to my mother-in-law, she owns an iPhone. We bought her the latest, greatest iPhone in the world. And James, she can't text. You can send her a text and she can click on it and read it and see the keyboard is opened. And she doesn't know how to type one word like okay and hit send. But it's not the iPhone's problem. It's not the Apple factory's problem. It's not Verizon's 5G network failing. My mother-in-law doesn't know how to use the information in front of her. It doesn't make sense, but the information is there. The power is behind all of that equipment and those networks. So when I show her a QR code, she doesn't realize, hey, this is information. It looks like random scattered nonsense, but it's a website address coded in a way that a camera can read it. So when I look at a market like this, like oil, I don't see the fact that there is a higher than average probability of prices rising at 5:30 Eastern time over and over and over again. And that if I just buy the next day at 5:30 in the morning with small risk, there's a really good chance it's going to rip roar away from my position into profit. So we can use a signal like this in the NASDAQ and very easily compile an estimate of how far it's likely to go. We can use that other technique. Those of you that are, I'm trying to impress this upon you. We know that we should probably get to the minimum level before November 27th. That's when the first intermediate time node is likely to be there. And then the move should continue down December 5th into the 13th. It's all about time and price. We can do the same thing with gold on a 5-minute chart. Here's a fun fact. Fabio, I gave everybody here the times for gold in advance. So if you see on the web page that everyone was following along with, we have a time map. Can you see this, Rick? Bob? So gold in the news, you know, we're up around $2,000 again. People are getting nervous. Should I get out of the market? Should I get into gold? Maybe. But intraday, if you were trading that panic, you'll see that since Monday, we knew that 840 was a time, Fabio, that banks were likely to push lower. And Dorian, we knew that banks were likely to take profit and push prices higher at 1020 and then continue to push prices lower at 1110. Can everybody see that? Now look, 840, 1020, 1110, 1145. Fabio, Rick, 840, 1020, 1110, 1145. Now, my father said it's better to be lucky than right. Anybody's dad ever tell him that? It's always better to be lucky than right. But in this case, we get to be right and lucky because we knew these times were coming since Monday. And you can start to see towards the end of today, the day before Thanksgiving, 840 to 1020, 1020 to 1110, 1110 to 1145, 1145 to 1235. And you can just sort of see that banks are just trudging along, doing what they do. And it doesn't even count the times that I gave you for the Euro session, 335 down, 430 up, 525 down, 555 up, 640 down, 725 up. Here's the big economic report. Whee! Retracement. Whee! And by the way, if you use the method that I've been trying to teach you, you can see right there, Earl, is the bottom, and there is the top. Bada boom, boom, boom. Any questions about this? Because the greatest news of all, because the greatest love inside of us is that we know when the times are coming in the future. We know when the times are coming in the future. Look, the future. Oh. So let's go over to the intraday workspace. The ES on a daily chart. I'm using settings that are unconventional settings here. If you're following along at home, please don't call me in the middle of the night. I don't know what your settings were on the ES. They're different from my chart. It's a 1230. 1230 trading days with a swing strength of 5. And that seems to have the E-mini S&P daily chart locked in. The next buying pressure signal is Thursday the 23rd, and then the next selling pressure is Friday the 1st. And then the next buying pressure signal is Monday, the 11th. So if you use those settings on the ES, if you're a larger swing trader, higher time frame trader, then you can follow along. Fabio, I did not give the times out for the NQ 5-minute. I did, however. Stimpy, you idiot! I did, however, give out the times for the NASDAQ on a 1-minute chart. You see this right here? Okay, now look. This is this afternoon, right? As far away from the forecasts as we could have gotten. No, stay with me, because if you were worried about the 5-minute, the 1-minute's even harder. Look at all the signals here. There's about 5 times as many as a 5-minute chart, right? So Fabio, how lucky would I have to be for this to have worked at all on a 1-minute NASDAQ chart? Think about that. If these were just random times, if I was a snake oil salesman, if none of my engineering degree mattered and you thought this guy's just a slippery eel, then look, 206, 248, 201, 222, 206, 222, 228, 238, up until 243, down, 243, down. Fabio, how am I doing? Is that luck? No, Jesus can't help you the way I can. Pray to Jesus while you're trading and then look at one of my charts and see which one helps you first. I've prayed. I looked for Jesus, Muhammad. I had a Kwanzaa tree in the backyard. None of them could tell me what the banks were going to do until we got the software lined up. So that's in the afternoon. Then we come over here in the morning and you tell me. Did they all work? No. But geez Louise, cheese and crackers. 846. Remember, about 18,000 people had access to these times on Monday for Tuesday and Wednesday. Fabio, if you had gone long at 9:29 on the 1-minute chart, 846 signal with trend out by 907, that's almost $350 move. If you had gone long at 9:29 with a stop below the candle and you exited at 9:38, it was nearly a $2,000 move. Let's say you went long at 9:49, you gave back $22 of that move. The next signal with trend comes at 9:56. You got back $28 of that move. You see how this is going? And it's not just today. That's the European session. These were the Euro signals that I gave everybody. Long at 5:32, exit by 5:58. Long at 6:13, exit by 6:36. Long at 6:49, womp womp, loss. Long at 7:08, exit by 7:22, and so on. Womp womp. The reason this works No, Bob, it's not unbelievable. Bob had a great post just now, and I appreciate your feedback. But it's important, not me trying to be an a-hole about it. A lot of people confuse my comments for a-holery. But Bob, I'm going to just use your quote here for a second. What's important for me, for you to understand, the way you've been trading is unbelievable. the way you've been trading is on par with someone with a magic 8-ball. You're using tools that are telling you what just happened, right, Bob? If you're looking at volume, you're looking at something that told you what just happened. If you're using price action, you're using something that told you what just happened. It's in the past. It's done. It's not even a thing anymore. It's barely a memory. There's nothing predictive about what just happened. Here's another side effect of that. Bob, if all of the banks and the algorithms of the world know that you're going to be likely to sell when you see a doji candle or buy when the volume delta does a certain thing, don't you think they're going to leverage that? Don't you think they're going to throw one or two of those out there for fun just to lure you into a position which usually goes in the opposite direction? Well, my doji didn't work today. No, it didn't. Because they're evil. These are evil people. Evil in every sense of the word. The banks have made more money in the last 10 years than the last 100 years combined. And it's just getting worse and worse. So what's unbelievable is the way most people trade. This is reality. This is reality. Okay. When we come out and look at other markets like the euro US dollar, we actually do have forex traders still. You can see what's happening at the times. Ian says they call it dumb money. Yeah. You can see the euro US dollar is, for all intents and purposes, a bus schedule. It's an arrival and departures chart at an airport. Now leaving for higher euro prices, 9 o'clock tonight, 2,200 hours. Musk stuck it to the banks with their Twitter investments. Most analysts will agree with your statement. I believe in bad faith on his part. I like him less and less, and I'm embarrassed that I was ever a Musk fanboy, but I have to admit that I was. He essentially, what he's doing, by all accounts, JV, is he got them to invest with him at the high. Twitter was a profitable company. They were making money. And then he gutted it. And so the value of it is down here. And so if he restructures the debt and he gets people to come in and buy the debt, he gets to start over at a brand new price. It was it's not really anything other than a business move. He's basically destroying it so that the banks will take pennies on the dollar and get out so he can start over again without the interest payment over his head. It's a brilliant move, but I think he's just taking a playbook, a page from their own playbook, for sure. We're not limited to US markets. We can look at other markets like the DAX, for example, and see that those same types of moves are occurring. These are the last 2 days worth of signals on the DAX, and it's very similar price action. You can see when we're expecting buying signals, most of the time it goes up, and when we're expecting selling signals, most of the time it goes down. So we're sort of intercepting those signals and moving forward. On the E-mini S&P today, if you were in my live room, we had a pretty good day today. And if you're an existing customer and you really want to sort of accelerate the results you're having, joining up with me in my pro room where I show force and warp signals, it's pretty good setups today in the morning. Man, I was so close right there, right here. There is not one included. There is one available, and that's good news for you. This software has free updates for life, and one of the new updates that we've included with the program, Ian, is called RevPol. And on this chart, guys, I wanted you to see that I'm activating rule number 2. When you go back and put this on with your software, the most updated version of the software is included when you purchase and also is available on the website in the Customer Resource Center. When you log in, you'll see a section there called Downloads. I've got this rule activated. Rule 2 says last signal opposite zone close. So Ian, do you notice at 11:05 how in this instance the market closes higher by 12:10 than it closed over here? In my advanced force work, I've noticed that there are moments just before holidays, FOMC report days, and anytime the Fed chairman is talking, when markets are really volatile or shaky, the signals will flip polarity. They'll reverse polarity. And so when the red dot, or rather when the blue dot here, Ian, is behaving like a green dot and closes higher by the next buy signal, Fabio, I let the customers know that we're stuck in the upside down, like that Netflix movie series, Stranger Things. Everything is backwards. And so this is the trigger for it, Dave, when you're talking to customers, the way RevPol works. If the signal closes in the wrong direction, the algorithm makes that Star Wars sound. And it goes, hey, that was the wrong direction. It was clearly a directional move, but it went up. And so now it alerts you. And Fabio, there's a signal here. This is an advanced feature of the software. It's really new. And it says, hey, reverse polarity is happening right now. Up is down, down is up. Cats are marrying dogs. Republicans and Democrats getting drinks together. It's insane. RevPols can be 4s and 5s, but Ian, in this case, RevPol was not a 4. Ian, in this case, RevPol was not a 5. In this case, was not a 5. It doesn't have to be a 4 or 5. They can be part of that. However, when you begin to follow what happens now, the day before the holiday, down until 1240, up until 150, down until 245, up until 3 o'clock, and then by 3:45, you're almost exactly where you started. You're off 4 ticks from there. And then the 3:45 signal, because we finished higher than we started, Fabio, we're out of that RevPol sequence, and now we're dropping. So if you noticed, everything was backwards for a while on the 5-minute chart. It happens just before holidays, FOMC days, earnings release days like the quad witching days on a Friday or a Thursday, and anytime Powell is speaking. And so if you want to use that feature on your program, it's a new addition. It's absolutely free. And we're using rule number 2. Why 1240 or RevPol? Because Ian, we had a buy signal here and it finished lower by the pattern 2. The program doesn't reference the pattern number when it's looking. 5s and 4s are all part of RevPol stuff. I have a pretty good class when we do the live rooms Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 9 to 11, where we go over all that stuff. It's pretty neat how it works. Yep, so we did finish higher by 11:05 over here. So that was the 5-minute chart for today. And then if we come back and look at yesterday, you'll see those same signals kicking in on the 5-minute ES. If you take those out, right, we deactivate the rule, we just look at the blue and the white dots, you'll see that we're still looking at some pretty manipulated signals here in this market. We can go all the way down to a 3-minute chart where we gave the times out in advance for today, and now many of you are following the 3-minute signals on the ES, and you can see that we're sort of right back in crazy land where these signals, excuse me, we know what's coming in the future, and we have these ridiculous moments in time where one trade with a very small amount of risk can pay for the whole Megillah. Of course, oil on a 3-minute chart, you've never seen as manipulated a market as oil is lately. And just looking at the early morning signals today, if you took shorts in the direction of the trend, entering at the close of the candle, using the software stop level plus 16, plus 30 ticks, plus 23 ticks, geez Louise, plus 72 ticks. Look at this one, Ian. Right before oil opens, that's 177 ticks or $1,770 per contract. The next signal is only 23 ticks after that. Oil is manipulated and predictable. The E-mini S&P is predictable and manipulated. The NASDAQ is predicted and manipulated. It's one of the reasons why we are featured on the Apex investing page. Many of our customers are using our program to qualify for multiple accounts and trade with them. And there's no way they could do that if the theory that I'm teaching you isn't correct. Here's one guy, one of the newest people I've started trading today. Obviously, he has a few accounts, right? And so Bob, Fabio, Paul, who else is in here that I want to mention by name? James. He's buying in at the 90% off, and he's using a trade replicator, and he's using these signals, and he's qualifying and getting payouts, you know, like everyone else. So that's just another way to prove that when you use these signals, funding companies will actually fund you because it works. All right, so here's a stop out here. If you use that technique that I'm trying to get everyone to learn, the next long is here, in and out 42, in and out 79, in and out 28. And then at 321, you have a stop out, -5. And here's the best part. We know the times that are coming in the future. Say that with me. We know the times that are coming in the future. No one wants you to know this. Gurus don't want you to know this. They love when you click on that subscription button. I would love to help you, Paul. However, I do have one small request. Will you please hit the subscribe button where I shall withdraw $995 per month from your account to teach you marvelous and stupendous things that I've accumulated over 50 years of experience trading. Turns out the guy's like a janitor. But his brother's a cool marketer and likes his accent. And you don't find out it's nonsense till 4, 5, 6 months later when your wife goes, "Who's Nigel? Why are we paying Nigel $1,000 a month? Can I see your statement?" Oh, shoot. Nobody wants you to know this is happening. Banks don't. Goldman Sachs doesn't. And I have a feeling the funding companies, the ones that are funding our customers, aren't too thrilled either. I don't think funding companies are thrilled about our software when our customers, Dorian, I don't think our mutual friend is thrilled when you put in for your payout at the end of the month. I don't think he's happy. I honestly don't. I think he does it. He has to. Maybe. I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. The premise of all this, and this works in crypto too, by the way, but the premise of this is pretty simple. Markets are not random. Things are not happening willy-nilly. People are not responding to information in real time. Oh, the unemployment number is a little higher than I thought it was going to be. The markets will now equalize favorably and fairly. No. The banks knew what the unemployment rate was, and no one really knows. It's all a fake number. It doesn't account for how many people quit looking for a job because of COVID and retirement and Fauci and all that stuff. It's all a mystery. There is no random. Everything's happening for a reason. They just don't tell you. And so at the end of it all, we look. Larry, happy Thanksgiving too, by the way. Thank you for your greeting, and I just saw it here. I want to make a note just to let you know I read that, and I appreciate you. Thank you for that greeting, and thank you for that. This provides an edge. This provides a statistically relevant edge. That's all we need, but it's predictable. When you're proactive, you are not reacting, you are proactive. Your stress is less. You're at the computer less. You're not sitting there watching every tick thinking, oh my God, am I going to miss out on this move? You know what your risk is. You know what your profit target is in time. How long do I have to sit here for this thing to work? There's significant advantages to predictive signals. If we were shorting at 1651, I know I have 2 hours. And if you use the technique that I'm begging all of you to learn how to use, at the earliest, we could exit at 611, 612. Predictive signals with an edge are the ultimate. You trade less. I have 10 appointments with the market that day. 3 or 4 of them may be the exact high or low. Yay! My signals are based on what Deutsche Bank is going to try to get away with today. What are you looking at? Volume spread analysis? What are you looking at? The VWAP? Rookie. Those are rookie tools. I'm just teasing. If you use those things, please don't be insulted. People get very hurt when I mention their technique. Trading is about what's going to happen in the future, not what happened just now or what happened in the past. We are one of the only companies in the world that are telling you what is likely to happen in the future. Now, as we come around the corner, there's good news. There's good news for some of you. Let me just type a question in here to somebody who asked me a question real quick. So Dave, just check your Skype real quick, if that's okay with you. I'm going to do it. But if you don't think I should, I won't. We are letting you know it's not a miracle when you see the things you've seen with the predictive times. It's just the way the world works. This is how the markets work. I've studied them for 15 years, and I've trained other people to do what I'm telling you to do. Anyone can leave a review on Trustpilot about us. Anyone can right now. And here's a fun fact. Our average rating is 4.9. And people keep writing the same things about us. These are all real people. These are people that have a credit card receipt. These are people that actually purchased the program. And they have phone numbers, they have addresses, they have a Visa, MasterCard, a PayPal receipt, and you can talk to any one of them randomly. And they all say the same thing. And so there's no way this could work unless what I'm telling you is true. Now, the program that we're talking about is an indicator for NinjaTrader called TachEon Warp. W-A-R-P, Warp. All right, so I won't mention it. Dave will just do that then. Thank you. The program is TachEon Warp. Good call. I'm going to paste a link into your GoToWebinar chat box. Okay, that link should be popping up right there. If we scroll down to the bottom of that page, you're going to see a chance, an opportunity to purchase. Yeah, you can do that one-on-one. That's fine. When you click on that, you'll see an annoying pop-up comes up. We do have a live room. It's taught by, actually 2 live rooms. One is taught by me, one is taught by my partner and a customer. And if you're a forex customer, especially, I think you should be in my room. If you're a new customer, you'd probably be better off in the room I'm showing you here. If you don't like the one and you want to switch, just let me know and we can make that happen for you too. But there's a room that meets, Ron's meeting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 to 12. Mine meets Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 to 11. And we do have a live trading room. And so you can hang out with us there and we go over the techniques and I show the kinds of signals that I'm showing you here in a live market. Here's where we're going to get in, here's where we're going to get out, here's what happens if this changes. If you're the kind of customer who needs that kind of hand-holding for a little while, that's a great way to get started. It's $150 per month, no contracts, month to month, cancel anytime. If you don't want that, fine. I don't want you to have it. There is, however, a purchase agreement that I do need you to read and go through. Make sure you read through that before you click on the bottom to confirm, and then agree to the terms before you sign up. There is a promo code, WARPOFF, WARPOFF, WARPOFF. And when we hit apply, it takes 500 smackaroos off the price. If you do have PayPal, they do have a pay later option where you can purchase with PayPal with no payments for up to 6 months if you want to go that route. Otherwise, you can check out here using this and it'll take any major credit card. We do have wire transfers available and we do not accept Bitcoin at this time. Your program will include 2 lifetime licenses, free updates included with your purchase, free installation, white glove via GoToMeeting if you'd like to have us install it for you. NinjaTrader will accept this indicator, either the free version or the paid version. Ninja Free will connect to Interactive Brokers or TD Ameritrade or Rhythmic provided by Apex Investing. If you have a 90% coupon with Apex Investing and you're paying $15 a month for the data, this indicator will work on that and get you the predictive signals, no problem there. So a new third option, if you're a TradingView customer and you don't want to get NinjaTrader for $15 a month, you can have access to all the signals and see the times coming when you place your trades on other platforms. 2 computer licenses available, desktop and a laptop. If you want to share or split those up, not a problem there. And a video training archive on the website in the Customer Resource Center. everything from basic 10-minute setup videos, how to do this, how to do that, how to move this, how to do that, to more advanced entry-exit strategies. Basically 10 years worth of lessons in an ever-growing, highly organized video training library. So pretty cool stuff. And remember, you're not the first person through the door. Other customers have come in before you. You can leverage their experiences and read through each of them. Again, these are real people that purchased at this exact moment before you got here. They could have written anything they wanted. We're not allowed. We can't. We're completely unable to remove a review from Trustpilot. My very first review, in fact, was 1 star. You can imagine, honey, we got a review. Oh, crap. Can you take it down? No, never. It's like a tattoo. It's there forever. So that's all I've got to say about that. And I would love to have you come on board. The volatility is insane. When we get back from Thanksgiving break, I am expecting some really big moves. This is the time of year where 2 or 3 trades can eliminate many losses and get you green. And if you know when to be sitting there, when to wait, and you can use a little bit of risk and hold on, know the direction it's likely to go, know how long it's likely to go. And with that one technique I showed Fabio, even estimate how far it's likely to go by a certain date or time based off of what banks are doing over and over and over again. I think that's a pretty good deal. But if you believe the markets are fair, you believe lagging indicators are your best path to success, if you believe scribbling away in your trading journal is going to give you that edge, I can't help you. We're probably not a good fit for you. I want to be this. I want to be a support team for you. We have customers that are mentoring other customers here, people who've qualified for funded accounts who are getting big payouts with Apex, customers who are trading accounts that can share what they're doing with you. You have access to me, you have access to my trading partner, my best friend. He's in charge of our AutoStrat, the developer that works with me named Ron. So many people here able to help and support you when you go out there to trade. It's one of the hardest things, if not the hardest thing you'll ever try to do. And you need people that you can trust, a small family. Also, in addition to that, we do have a Skype room. I know we use Skype. There are 164 active participants in there, and they are sharing what they do with each other. You can get in there and ask them, hey, what was your signal based off of? Can I find out what your settings were? What markets are you guys trading? What's looking good right now? And there are actual customers in here. These are real people taken from the Skype group. And they're helping each other. So there's actually an even bigger community of users beyond the guru. I am not your guru, and we want other customers working with you and training you and helping each other. I think that's the best way to learn and grow and be successful. Any questions before we finish up here for the afternoon? I've been talking fast because I know a lot of you have travel plans. You're getting ready to hunker down, eat your turkey, get your stovetop stuffing on the stove, make your taters and your carrots and your green bean casserole. Anybody? Fabio, today's your day. Today's your day, guys. Next week, Friday, is going to be amazing. If you're a customer and you want to sign up for my live room, I have a class on Friday when the markets open up. They close at 1 p.m. We're going to have a good morning on Friday. I can feel it. We had a great time today in the live room, and I was excited to see that happen. I have one position on right now based off an analysis we did today that I'm very excited about, that I'm holding, and I'm pretty sure I was right. I was right about that short, Earl. We'll see, but I'm pretty sure I was right. It went down 10 points in our favor before it retraced, but I still think that's the high. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for 15 years of your support. You help us get the word out and help other traders come around the corner and finally start seeing the results they knew they could achieve if they had the right tool, the right perspective. Time is the most important factor of all. By studying the past records, you will be able to prove for yourself that history does repeat and that by knowing the past, you can tell the future. A guy named William Delbert Gans said that back in the early 1900s. It's still true today. But we have Pentium 9 computers, 64 gig of RAM. We can do so much more than Gan did. Come to the dark side. We can't wait to have you as a family member. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine upon your beautiful, you look marvelous faces. May the mountains lay low before you and the valleys rise up to meet you. I wish you prosperity and peace, camaraderie and fellowship, adventure, love, community, all good things. I am for you. I am agreeing with you right now, together with the rest of you, for that, for each of us this year. There's so much to be grateful for. So many voices competing in the landscape to get us to feel afraid, to feel angry, to feel upset, to be divisive. Don't give in. Stay connected, stay grounded, stay grateful. Breathe in, breathe deep, and continue watching the times. They're the best way, I think, moving forward for you in trading and for me in life. They've been a really benefit. Take care, everyone. Fabio, when Dave calls you, make sure you heed the call. Yes, and if you need me, Bob, pursuant to what you said earlier, if you have a question that you just can't wait to tell me or ask me, that's my mobile number and my email address is michael@backtothefuturetrading.com. And so if you need to reach me, you can do that. I'm also on Skype. You can look for me, Integra-Michael or Michael Patrick Lydick. That's for me on Skype. If you want to get a hold of me in any one of those ways, my phone number 336-703-7667. Please text first. I got family in from out of town, but I'm happy to answer any questions you've got. I'm generally available until about 10 p.m. Eastern. Anytime after that, I'm going to be really annoyed with you. So don't call after that. And if you get a call from a guy named David, he does work for us. He's excellent. And he'll help you get on board and help you figure out how to get started with us. I don't eat too much turkey. I have, in fact, lost 30 pounds. I've got 20 more to go. I feel great. I'm locked in. Something in my head switched after COVID. I was doing great. Fauci messed me up for a while, and now I'm back. I feel great. I feel past my COVID brain fog. I got out of whatever that was. It's behind me. It's healed. I'm good. I want to be my best for you, for this community, for the traders who haven't heard this gospel yet. I've got a lot more to give, many more years to go. And we're not going to stop telling people what the banks are doing until everyone knows what's going on. Yeah, there's a lot. Most of them can. I trust my wife. I trust my kids. I trust some of you, most of you. And then after that, it's a crapshoot. It's a coin toss. I pretty much learned that lesson the hard way. They were all in on it. They were all actors in the same play. They want us to be upset at each other, angry at each other, divide us while they loot the coffers and take what they can for themselves. Well, with this program, we're going to let you take back the money they took from you and put it in your account where it belongs. That's my hope. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll see you on the other side. There's only so many days left till Christmas. How did we get here? At one point in Home Depot, I saw Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas decorations on the shelf at the same time, and I'm certain that is the sign of the end of the world as we know it. It happened this year. I don't know what that means beyond potential end of the world. So make the most of every second, every day. Enjoy the ones that you have. Love the ones you're with as hard and as closely as you can, because time is not guaranteed for any of us. It feels like people are dying younger and younger all around us in the news, and make the most of every second that we've got. Appreciate you guys. Welcome on board to our new customers, and thanks again. Take care.